Hello, Raw Food Rehab. Welcome to another episode of Foodie Friday. Tonight, my husband and I have been invited to a Mexican Fiesta dinner party where everybody is supposed to bring something. And so I volunteered as quick as I could to bring a salad. So one of the things I'm taking tonight is a Southwestern-inspired dinner salad, which I'll give you the recipe for that. I'm also going to bring along a couple of surprise side dishes that I have made before that are just really kind of a delight to the palate. The first thing that I'm going to make is my cherry salsa. And let me show you the ingredients for that. We'll just start off with the cherry salsa. This recipe was one that I threw together last year, and it actually was featured in our local newspaper, the Tulsa World. And so you can just see what my ingredients are here. Cilantro, those are the pitted cherries. I don't have a cherry pitter, so it took me a little bit to pit those. About a cup and a half of each one of those. Onion, cilantro, garlic, jalapeno, a little bit of salt, and agave nectar, and I believe there's a little bit of vinegar in this. And so you could definitely just chop this by hand, but since I do own a food processor, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to dump this in there, and then I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Oh, what I wouldn't give for smell-o-vision again right now, you guys. This is such a great recipe. Cherry salsa. You know, as raw foodists, salsa is one of those things that's kind of a staple recipe. In the summer especially, it's really easy to find when all of these ingredients are ripe. You can grow most of these things in your own garden. Maybe not the cherries, but you know, it's just great to switch up an old favorite recipe and add something new. So I promise you, if you make this recipe, you're going to love it. The next thing I'm going to be taking tonight is an old favorite. It's guacamole, but we're going to spice it up, or change it up, I should say, by adding grapefruit. Grapefruit guacamole. It's yummy. Let me show you the ingredients for that next. Here are the ingredients that you'll need for grapefruit guacamole. You'll need a red onion, a large pink juicy grapefruit. You're going to need to get some freshly squeezed lime juice, either 1 or 2 jalapenos. I'm just going to use 1 because I have this big nice fat one. I also have a big nice fat garlic clove. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of freshly chopped cilantro, a ripe marvelous avocado, a touch of olive oil, a bit of sea salt, and just a light drizzling of raw agave nectar. So I will show you the finished product. The one thing I wanted to mention on the grapefruit, if you don't know how to supreme a grapefruit or an orange, I'm going to give you a link to a video that shows you exactly how to do that, because you're only going to want that center wonderful part. You're not going to want any of the junk stuff. You're not wanting any of the seeds or the little outer coating. You just want the luscious, juicy fruit for this recipe. So I'll be right back to show you what it looks like when it's finished. Well, I understand that the grapefruit guacamole has turned out delicious. I had my official taste team, my husband and my dad, came in to taste it, and they said it's excellent. So it's, you know, a little hot because of the jalapeno and garlic, but then you've got that sweet from a little bit of agave nectar and the grapefruit on the other side of the palate. So it's really just a kind of a burst of flavor in your mouth. And I was thinking, you know, it not only is it great for a Mexican Fiesta party, it would also be great this coming Sunday for Super Bowl Sunday. All these recipes could totally fit into any of your festivities that you're going to be doing. The next thing I'm going to make is a tomato cilantro vinaigrette, and this is going to go on the Southwestern salad. And it's so simple. It calls for 1 small tomato, but I'm just, you know, going to do the cherry tomatoes or the grape tomatoes, which is what I have. Just a few little halves. These are tiny, tiny little sun-dried tomato halves. And so I've put, it calls for just like 3 halves, but I added extra because I really love sun-dried tomatoes. Again, cilantro, a scallion. No, that's not a scallion. Hello, that's a shallot. And then this recipe is going to have extra virgin olive oil, cold pressed, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a bit of sea salt, a splash of balsamic vinegar back there, freshly cracked pepper. My sweet friend, who just joined the website, and she's also in my exercise class, just slipped me a jar of her husband's fresh honey. He is a beekeeper. I had no idea. So this will be the first time that I'm actually using Linda and BJ's honey. So excited. And then just a little bit of Dijon mustard. Well, of course, as always, I will put this recipe underneath the video so you've got the exact measurement so you won't be confused. So what I will do is I'll measure all these out, put them in my Vitamix blender. You could use any kind of blender. And then we're going to have tomato cilantro vinaigrette, which will go on the Fiesta salad. So let me get this dressing made. I'll be right back. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to serve this, how I'm going to serve this up for you today. Okay, so I blended all the ingredients for the tomato cilantro vinaigrette. I have to tell you, it's amazing. I just tasted it. It's kind of like a juice, you know, and good chefs have to taste. Anyway, I decided that I wasn't going to go ahead and make the salad online for you on this video because I think that most of you all know how to make a salad. So I am just going to add the ingredients to the Southwestern salad underneath this video, so you'll have that, and it will just be topped off with the tomato cilantro dressing. But for today, I wanted to give you another idea of what you might be able to do at home. Okay, so the cherry salsa, finished product, the grapefruit avocado guacamole. Here is the delicious tomato cilantro dressing. It's pretty thick. You could add water if you wanted to thin it, or maybe more oil. But, you know, since there's oil in it, there's only 2 tablespoons of oil. It emulsified pretty well. So what I've done with these 3 delicious dishes is I've decided, and of course it's getting ugly now. It was really pretty just a second ago. But to do it almost like a taco, you know, just a piece of romaine, and then to stuff that in with all 3. I've just drizzled a little bit of the dressing on top, and that would make for a delicious meal. You'd have everything that you need right there. You don't need corn chips, although you could certainly dehydrate some corn chips, which I love, and we'll do that sometime on a Foodie Friday. I'll show you how I do my corn chips. But all of these recipes you can make anytime. They're super easy. You don't need a lot of equipment. You could certainly do the 2 salsas by hand, or the guacamole and the salsa by hand. You'd need just any kind of a blender to do the dressing. Not a big deal. And I think these recipes would be excellent for Super Bowl Sunday. It's just right around the corner this coming Sunday. So if you make these recipes, I'd love to hear what you think about them. I think they're great. So that's it for another episode of Foodie Friday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.